Ruto has been very uncomfortable with any amendments to the Constitution. You remember the first time when we wanted to amend the Constitution, he was against. The very first time, what was called the work-stroke-Kilifi draft, he was against. When it came to the second amendment, the one which gave us the 2010 Constitution, he was against. Even this one, there must be something that is not right with him. Because the truth is, when we were passing the Constitution, there was a general consensus that 70% was good. But there were 30% issues which we agreed that will need to be relooked at. So those are some of the issues that will be informing those constitutional amendments. But him, he doesn't, he didn't want it. Now that he looks like he's near power, he also doesn't want anybody to amend. You see, that is insincerity. It's not being very sincere. Well, I wouldn't say it's greed. You know, the truth is we need a more expanded executive. The reason being we are largely polarized along tribal lines. And, you know, if you have a pure presidential system, which we have currently, it's not as accommodative as it should be. So there have been challenges, and that has informed the debate about having an expanded executive, where you have a president, possibly with 2 deputies. Then you have a prime minister, and also who is the head of government, with possibly 2 deputies. But you know, that ultimate decision will be made by Kenyans in a referendum. So Orengo has the right to give his opinion, and Ruto also has the right to give his opinion. But Ruto seems to be very uncomfortable with having an expanded executive. He still believes that he should, if he is to take power, then he would rather take a presidency which is not diluted. He wants to enjoy the kind of powers that Mzee Kibaki enjoyed, the kind of powers that Moi enjoyed, and the kind of powers that Uhuru has enjoyed in 2 terms. So he does not see why one would want to dilute the presidency when he is looking like he's very close to power. So that informs his opposition. So he's very uncomfortable that anybody will be thinking about diluting the presidency when he's just about, in his own opinion, about to clinch the seat. So that is why he's been against it. You saw him the other day in Chatham House talking about the introduction of the leader of official opposition. That is not the issue per se, because the main issue is about expanding the executive, and also having, if we are going to have the leader of official opposition, then we need to debate how do we structure it. And you know, even now we have not agreed on the kind of structure we want to have, because what we have now is purely presidential, which is American. We need, do we need a mongrel like what they have in France, where you have a president who is elected, then he picks a prime minister who is the leader of the party that has, the party or the coalition that has the majority seats in parliament. That is the same system which Uganda seems to have, and is also what they have in Tanzania. Although the presidency in Uganda, Tanzania, and in France, the president is not what they are calling ceremonial. He still has executive powers, but some of he is not the head of government. The government is run by the president, by the prime minister, and the prime minister is appointed by the president. So you see, that is the setup. The fear here has been, when people talk about an executive prime minister, some people become very uncomfortable. Because how do you talk about an executive prime minister when you have a president who is elected by the people? So those are some of the issues. But you know, it's a question of semantics. So we need to get some of those fears out of Kenyans. And we also decide as a country, what do we want? Do we want, we still, because the belief still is that we should have a president who is the head of state and who is a symbol of national unity, who would appoint a cabinet in consultation with the prime minister, and who will be the commander-in-chief or chief of the armed forces, and who appoints the ambassadors and high commissioners. So you can't say that is ceremonial. So that should be the thinking that we need to look at as a country. Then once that is settled, then we go to the referendum and decide, let the Kenyans decide whether they want that or they don't want. If they decide they still want the American system, which is president, it's fine. If they decide they don't want a president, they want a prime minister like Britain, where you have a parliamentary system, it's still fine. It's ultimately the decision of the Kenyans.